Colm Mccolgan, General Manager of Ernact.
What's happening here today?
Today there's a meeting and a workshop taking place of a European project. And this European project is concerned with the audio-visual, I suppose what in the old days we would have called a film or TV making business. And because of the digital revolution, everything is coming together, you know. And no longer is it ads separate, film separate, TV, video games, etc. Even books and storytelling. All of these things are coming together under the, I suppose, what we could call the digital media revolution. And with the result, that creates opportunities and challenges. It creates challenges for cities and regions in Europe that have had a film industry or a film festival. Like one of the regions that's here today is the region of Genoa, which has a regional TV station which has been there for 50 years, and they make a lot of programs. Another region that is here is the city of San Sebastian in the north of Spain, which has quite a good film industry, film festival. But they've never really had spin-off from that. It's been the festival, but they've never got into the whole area of making films themselves. So, for example, they see this maybe as an opportunity now, and they have invested in a big audio-visual digital innovation centre, and they've put studios in there. They've put all the film-making business. They've put the animation, the whole works. And what they want to do is they want to try and capture some of this revolution. And then you have other regions that really don't have a history in film, like the city of Kristianstad from the south of Norway. But they have a very good technical university there, and they're producing very good animators and technical type of people for the oil industry. And the oil industry now requires a lot of training. And what they're hoping to do is to use the digital media revolution to make training films and training games and all of this kind of thing.
We have a good range of different countries here, and as I say, what do you hope to achieve with these workshops?
Well, the project itself, what it hopes to do is that it hopes to exchange good practices between different regions. And today, actually, we had a tour of the Colm Innovation Centre here in Letterkenny in County Donegal in Ireland, which is a fantastic place, and we were taken around to see 6 successful startups, one of them employing 45 people. Ranging from animation to electronic magazines to electronic ways of designing your interior of your house. So what each of the regions are looking for what's good in other regions, and if they find something that they like or that they think will be useful for their region, then they will hope to transfer that idea into their own region and get funding to actually implement it. That's really the purpose of the project. Now, today's meeting is really 2 purposes. In the morning, after the one-day event was opened by our mayor, we had an internal meeting of the project to deal with things like the finance and the budget and timescales and reporting to the European Union. So that was the internal workings of the meeting, and that was very successful. And then in the afternoon, we took an hour and a half, and we went around the collab here, and we had a look at some of the companies, and also the way that Colab is set up. It is quite successful, Colab, in terms of producing companies. And I know, for example, that the Norwegian partner was very interested in the model that has been established here by the LYIT and the management of Colm. So it's really, you know, what we hope to achieve is that we will show off what we're good at in Donegal, and tomorrow we hope to show off what we're good at in Derry as well. And hopefully we will transfer some of our good practices to these other regions, and we will, some of our companies and third level institutes in the region here will receive some back.
Now, as I say, the pleasure of working with you. This is another big workshop you've had within the last number of months, so it's all good stuff. Particularly, you're bringing it all to Donegal and you're showing the infrastructure that Donegal has at the minute. Yeah.
Well, you know, Ernact was set up by Derry City Council and Donegal County Council, and the purpose of it was to help the region here, to, you know, so that the councils could play a bigger part in the whole digital revolution. And we have deliberately brought a series of high-profile workshops to Donegal over the last 6 months or so. And as you say, the one that we had 2 months ago was about broadband, you know. And you do need the infrastructure, particularly in rural areas, if you're going to do anything with the Industrial Revolution. And but in addition to the broadband, the high-speed fibre, etc., you do need to be producing something on the fibre, and hence the purpose of today's workshop in terms of digital media. We have another workshop in this series as well, is looking at, you know, how you can revolutionise the way that public services are being developed using social media and cloud computing and that type of thing, and that will be coming in a few months' time. So, as you say, this is part of a series of workshops that Donegal is bringing to Donegal and to Derry and the wider northwest.
And to say, one of the good things now with the infrastructure that is here at the minute, and both, as you know, we were involved with a project a few years ago. We couldn't deliver it. We actually delivered content that was broadcast in 25 different in 25 different countries. Then it was worldwide through the web. So we had a mixture between digital TV and online. A few years ago, that wasn't possible.
That's right. I remember a production company telling me that they that a few years ago, 2 years ago actually, they had the good fortune to have done a deal with RTE where they could broadcast the St Patrick's Day parade in Buncrana and get it on the RTE News that night. Well, I think the parade was supposed to start at 3 o'clock, and as soon as the cameraman had done 10 minutes, he was into his car because he couldn't actually transmit the material, the film from Buncrana. He had to drive into Letterkenny, into the LYIT and deliver it from there, because that was the only place really in the county that had the big pipes. That's going to be the big challenge, I think, for us in Donegal over the next 3 to 4 years. I think I've probably said this before, you know, but the Scandinavian countries have a policy of putting fibre into the smallest village in the most remote parts of Finland or Sweden, and they have a much more sparsely. They're much more sparsely populated than we are in Donegal, and much more remote as well. But that's the kind of resources that their government is putting in to ensure that from any place, the remotest country area that you can imagine in Finland, that people will be able to do business from there, and will be able to, you know, upload this fantastic digital media that we're talking about. And I think that's the big challenge we have in Donegal, and I think that we need to be working on it over the next few years.
It does help businesses, as I say, from my own point of view. Without the infrastructure, we'd probably be based in some city with the infrastructure there. And I know we have the luxuries now of being based in Donegal, provide an international service, but based locally.
Oh yeah. Probably, Shane, you wouldn't probably have your own business. You'd probably be working for somebody else, as you say, in a foreign city. But because we're now getting that kind of infrastructure in some of the places in Donegal, you can consider doing that. And if we're to capture, the entrepreneurs of the future, and the new types of businesses that will emerge, then, we've got to make this leap of faith and find ways of putting the investment. I remember, 15 years ago or even 10 years ago, people were saying, companies don't need, they only need, a basic telephone line. They don't need to have 256 kilobits of bandwidth. What would they do with it? And you can see now that when companies have, maybe up to 4 or 5, and in a lot of places in Donegal, it's not enough. So we've got to try and get ahead. Like with fibre, you can get up to 1 gigabit per second, which is 200 times what we have now. And people in Finland and Sweden have that, and they're already creating businesses that we can't even dream of here.